starting out with a wet fly called the Shaky Beeley Shaky Beeley. Comes from Blue Ribbon. You'll find the pattern and a recipe on Blue Ribbon. What I was looking for was a October caddis soft tackle to swing, because I like swinging soft tackles, so I was looking for one, and then I came across this one. In the particular recipe, they call for a body of ginger, but if you wanted to, you could take and dub the body using a orange caddis dubbing. I don't think it makes a big difference on either one. Okay, the fly we're going to be tying with is we're going to be starting with the hook, which is a 2312 by TMC, which what you're really looking for is a 2 extra long hook. So any 2 extra long dry fly. In fact, if you wanted to, you could probably get away with using any 2 extra long hook. It doesn't have to be an extra fine. This one happens to be an extra fine because you're looking at having this higher in the current. You're looking at for fishing. You're not looking at fishing on the bottom. The other fly we'll be talking about, which is Bill's stick caddis, is actually for fishing on the bottom. So TMC 2312, size 10, 8 or 6 will work. Okay. For the tail, we're going to be using wood duck. If you wanted to, you could also get away with using some of the nice softer feathers off of the mallard, which are not highly marked, just as modeled, works just as well. For thread, we're going to be using, I've got on here caramel or a brown 8/0. I like 8/0. You can get away with the 6/0 without any trouble. For the thorax, we're using ostrich, orange ostrich. I like this deeper ostrich instead of the fluorescence. In fact, if you look at the Blue Ribbon Fly pattern from their website, they're using more of a fluorescent orange. I like the darker orange.
Almost a burnt orange.
Yeah, it's more of a personal choice. My favorite words is the fish don't care. The other item that we use is pearl crystal flash. I like the pearl. They talk about a copper crystal flash. I personally like the pearl better. Okay, so, and then for the rib, all I'm using for the rib is some 3/0 brown.
Thread?
Just plain 3/0 brown thread. If you've got some brown buttonhole thread, that'll work fine. Large thread with a brown Pantone pen. Turn your white thread to brown will work just as well. Okay, so you're just looking to create a brown rib, as you can see here on the fly. We've got the back here. We've got the tail is in 2 parts. One is the wood duck, which is a little longer than a short little piece of crystal flash pearl. Again, they call for it to be copper. I prefer pearl. The body, they talk about using ginger. Ginger works as well, as so does any of the medium orange dubbing. Thorax of the ostrich, you have kind of an underwing of some more of the crystal flash. Again, they were talking about orange. And then last but not least, partridge, we're looking at the dark brown feathers down here. You're looking for the darker ones. You can always look at the screenshot, that works just as well. So you're looking for the browner feathers. You don't want these light gray ones. They're the wrong shade for the feather. And by the way, this is the dubbing for the ginger. It's kind of a golden ginger. Okay, so let's get started. Push down the barb. Brown thread at about the 2/3 location. Bring it back to the barb. And we're going to take a little of the crystal flash. What I like to do is I like to take a single strand of crystal flash because I'm a little too frugal to sit there and waste it. I take a single strand of Crystal Flash, fold it in half and then half again to get my quarters. Tie it in, then fold it back, and it gives me about 8 strands of Crystal Flash, and I like to cut it just short, just a bit short of the bend of the hook. On top of that, we're going to place the. I'm going to grab a couple of fibers from the wood duck. And you want the fibers to be just a bit longer than the tail, so the fiber should be something less than an entire shank length. So I like it just a little short of an entire shank up on top. And then I like to just keep my body even by running it all the way across the whole body. Okay. Then for the rib, I take a piece of the brown, this is brown 3/0. You can use just about any brown thread if you'd like, works fine. Fold it over, double it so that it's thick enough for a good rib. Okay, and I'll go use the ginger on this one. That's it. I'm just going to dub a slim body. You're not worrying about how tight the body is. This body need not be tight. It could be tight or loose. It pretty much depends upon how you feel about the particular fly. Some people like their bodies tighter than others. I think that's more of a personal preference than it is a requirement for the fish.
Bugging him too?
You want to make that?
No, this is not bugging nymph. This is antron.
You want to make that a little thick, right?
You want it a little bit thick, not too thick.
Yeah.
You want some body to it. This is an antron dubbing. It could be buggy nymph. Again, this fly is meant to be just under the surface, so you're not dealing with having to deal with a lot of weight. Just a few more turns. And a little touch more. I'm a big fan of adding dubbing. Too many people put dubbing on too thick and too much. Easier to add layers of dubbing, I think, personally, than it is to try to take off all the dubbing. Okay.
Right.
What I do for my rib is I'm going to wind my rib backwards, and since it's a rotary, I'll add a bunch of turns of thread so that as I wind backwards, it'll just slightly take it off a little bit. And there's my rib. The rib helps just add the definition. Cut off the excess of the rib. We're done with the rib. We then add, I'm going to take, and this is very fine, as you can see, it's a very fine ostrich. To get the kind of thickness I want, I'm going to take 5. Again, the thorax has got to be somewhat thicker than the body, but you don't have to get too large. main base down there of the thread.
Tying it by the tips or
I'm tying it by the tips. I think I'm going to twist this one. I did that last time. I like it better when you twist them. Now you could add a when you're doing the thorax, instead of just twisting the ostrich, you could have twisted around your thread if you'd like, if you believe that it truly is going to make it stronger, but it really doesn't make the fly stronger, it makes the ostrich stronger. And one more. Let me cut off my excess. Okay, at this point I come back to my pearl crystal flash. Again, if you're going to do the blue ribbon pattern altogether, they're asking for it to be copper crystal flash. I don't think it makes that much of a difference. I've used this with just the pearl crystal flash, and I think it does just as well. Again, the key here is you're trying to just add a little flash to the fly and not a lot. Now, the part of this is I'm going to take and start my crystal flash off to the side. Let me just spin this thing for a second. There we go. I want the first wing kind of off on a slight angle. Can you see that in there? Can you see that? Okay, run my thread forward a couple of turns, and now I can bring this other one back. So I've created somewhat of a V within my crystal flash. I'm not all stacked up in the center. Pull them back, and I cut them even with the end of the body. Okay, so there's my crystal flash as an underwing. And then for the overwing, what we're going to use is the brown partridge. Actually, it's the soft tackle partridge. I'm going to tip tie this. By that I mean as I'm going to pull all my fibers back, and I'm going to nip off what I don't need so I don't have to cut it off later. I'm going to tie in the tip. I'm going to fold my hackle back and take one, two. I got two full turns. I don't know if you've noticed, my last turn is going to hit right here. My first turn hit there. Okay, but I always take one more full turn of bare stem. Just a habit I got into a bunch of years ago before I tie it off. And that just guarantees that I've got a nice set on the hackle. Clip off the excess stem. Create a nice small head, and wood finish. That's the Shaky Beeley. Nice soft tackle, swings nice. I have used this in the past for a variety of streams using the October caddis hatch. When the October caddis are coming off, they're obviously going to come off like any caddis. They're going to come off the bottom, come out of their little house. These are not a rocks. We'll show you what they're going to look like before they get to this. This is the second phase before you get to the dry phase. So you've got the nymph on the bottom. You've got the emerger, if you would, which this was representing as it's coming to the surface. Before it comes to the surface, breaks out, and turns into a dry. We're not doing any dry this time. We're just going to do the two subsurface ones. 10 is the smallest you want to be. 8s are fine, and so are 6s. If you've ever got a chance to see the actual October caddis, they're as big as most of the stoneflies we normally fish. So from a caddis, they're really kind of a nice one. So that's the Shaky Beeley.